The person that tells you how happy they are is the most miserable. The person that acts the most confident is the most insecure. The person that needs to flex the most believes he himself has no value. People wear social masks all the time to hide their biggest insecurities. This is day 29 of Controlling Minds. Humans are terrified of showing weakness because weakness invites attack or rejection. So we hide our deepest insecurities behind a mask that displays the exact opposite. If you feel powerless, you perform dominance. The mask exists to protect what you're most afraid of others seeing. And three things reveal the mask someone is wearing. First, whatever they emphasize most is what they lack. The person constantly proving they're smart feels stupid inside. Second, overcompensation. When someone tries too hard to show you something, it's because they don't naturally have it. Third, watch what triggers them. When someone gets defensive about a specific topic, that's where the mask is protecting something. If you want people to like you, don't try to break their mask. Validate it. Give compliments for exactly the image and feeling they're trying to project. The whole world is a threat when you're wearing a mask, but if you accept theirs, they'll feel safe around you, and we automatically like the people who make us feel safest. If you think this is fake, at least take off your own mask first. There's a Nobel Prize-winning question that can either destroy someone's confidence completely or make them feel unstoppable. Two completely opposite effects from the exact same question, just by changing a single number. This is day 20 of Controlling Minds. Think of situations where you felt extremely confident. If I ask you to name 3 situations, you'll do it easily and walk away feeling confident. But if it's 12, you'll struggle. And by the end, you'll feel like you're not confident at all. Same question, same person, completely opposite results. Because your brain doesn't judge reality based on truth, it judges based on how easily examples come to mind. This is called the availability heuristic. If something is easy to recall, your brain assumes it must be common or true. If it's hard to recall, your brain assumes it's rare or false. Your confidence isn't based on reality, it's based on how easily you can recall proof of it. That's why you can feel like a failure even after achieving real things, because your brain focuses on what comes to mind easily, which is usually recent failures or doubts. To use this, write down every situation where you felt confident, no matter how small. Keep the list. When your brain tells you you're not capable, force it to look at the evidence. Make confidence the available thought, and your brain will start believing it automatically. Check out the link in my bio for more. You can make someone believe almost anything without arguing, without evidence, without convincing them at all. Just ask them the right question, and their own brain will do all the work for you. This is day 18 of Controlling Minds. Your brain treats questions differently than statements. When someone tells you this is the best option, you resist and look for flaws. But when they ask you why is this the best option, your brain automatically starts generating reasons, and in doing so, you're building their argument for them without realizing it. This works because questions bypass your critical thinking and force engagement. You can ignore a statement, but your brain feels compelled to answer questions, even rhetorical ones. The moment you start thinking of reasons, you've already accepted the premise as true. A salesman doesn't say, "You need this car." He asks, "What would it feel like to drive this car every day?" Now you're imagining ownership, building emotional attachment, selling yourself. A politician doesn't claim, "The economy is failing." They ask, "Can your family afford 4 more years of these prices?" Your brain starts listing problems, confirming their narrative. The question planted the assumption, and you watered it yourself. Use this whenever you want agreement without resistance. Don't state your position. Ask a question that assumes it. You can make someone believe anything without questioning it, ever. Just ask the right question and their brain focuses on answering, accepting your statement as reality without any resistance. This is day 28 of Controlling Minds. Statements create resistance. Your brain hears a claim and immediately evaluates whether it's true. But questions work differently. They shift your focus to finding an answer, not questioning the premise. When did Andrew stop beating his wife? Focuses your attention on the time frame. Your brain never stops to question whether Andrew ever beat his wife at all. The assumption is embedded in the structure, and because it's a question, it bypasses your critical thinking completely. This works because the last part of the question doesn't trigger System 2, the analytical part of your brain that evaluates truth. It flows straight into System 1, your subconscious, that processes and accepts information automatically. The question isn't about what we want you to believe, so your brain never examines if the embedded assumption is even true. Shift the focus from if it happened to when, where, or why, and suddenly your brain has an entirely new direction to think about, never questioning the validity of your statement. The harder you try to convince someone, the more they resist. But there's a way to make them believe you without arguing. Predict their doubt before they voice it, and their brain does the opposite just to prove you wrong. This is day 30 of Controlling Minds. Your brain is wired to protect autonomy. When someone tells you what to think or do, you instinctively resist. But when someone predicts your resistance and mirrors it back to you, resisting their prediction means doing what they wanted in the first place. You probably won't believe this. Makes you want to prove you're open-minded by believing it. "I know you're going to say no" makes saying no feel like you're predictable, so you consider saying yes. By voicing your expected resistance, they've made resistance itself feel like losing control, which is exactly what your brain was trying to avoid. Stop trying to convince people directly. Instead, predict and voice their resistance before they do. You're going to think this sounds crazy. Now believing you means they're open-minded, not gullible. I know you won't want to do this, now doing it proves they're independent, not controlled. And yet you still won't visit my website. You don't need to force yourself through the things you hate but know you should do. There's a biohacking technique that rewires your brain to do them automatically, even crave them. It's dangerous if used wrong, but it forces results when nothing else works. This is day 10 of controlling minds. Your brain doesn't hate hard work, it hates the feeling it associates with it. Every time you force yourself to do something, your brain registers pain, resistance, suffering, so it builds a stronger negative association each time. Eventually, just thinking about the task triggers the same stress response as actually doing it. To change that, we use the same principle that trains dogs to do tricks. Classical conditioning. You give a dog a treat every time he does a trick when you say the right word. Eventually the dog associates the trick with a treat and starts doing it on his own, and the exact same principle works on you. Reward yourself for the things you need to do, but not after, during. That's how you start associating the task itself with the reward. For example, only allow yourself to listen to your favorite song while working. Only drink an energy drink during the gym. After a few weeks, you won't even need the trigger anymore. The association in your brain has completely shifted. And if there are things you can't stand but have massive benefits, pair them with things that force dopamine hits. Slightly harmful things, but if the overall effect is positive, like nicotine gum during cardio, you'll become almost addicted to the activity because your association changed. But do this with extreme caution. The only reason you're afraid of rejection is because you have no value. It hurts because deep down, you know you're not offering anything worth taking. If you were certain of your worth, rejection wouldn't touch you. This is day 14 of controlling minds. If you have $1 million and you offer it to someone on the street and they say no, would that hurt? No, because the value is certain. It would enrich their life. If they reject it, they're worse off than if they accepted. You were ready to change their life forever and they said no. Why should that hurt you? Rejection only hurts when you have nothing to offer. When people reject you, it confirms what you already fear, that you have no value. If you were sure about your value, you wouldn't care. You wouldn't even want anything to do with someone who doesn't value you. Their rejection would be irrelevant because you know what you're worth. That's why the solution to rejection is value. Get good at something, build something, achieve something tangible, and make your value clear to yourself. Write down what you've accomplished, what skills you have, what you bring to the table. Look at it when you get rejected. Remind your brain that you're not worthless just because one person didn't see it. We hate being wrong more than we hate failing, and that's how every failure in your life started. With a small thought you kept repeating. You think these are just thoughts, but they're instructions your brain is forced to follow. This is day 15 of controlling minds. Your brain functions like a computer that follows whatever program gets installed, and right now it's running on negative thoughts that will inevitably create a negative reality. This is the same reason people follow ideologies even when they destroy their lives. They made a decision once, and now their brain does everything possible to keep that worldview intact. The exact same principle applies to your thoughts, because your subconscious will do absolutely anything to make your internal worldview match external reality. You'll sabotage yourself, miss opportunities, and destroy your own life, all because of a small negative thought you thought was harmless. A single negative thought can become the root of a completely destroyed life, while a single positive one can become the foundation of an extraordinary life. This is why you need to start deliberately aligning your thoughts with how you actually want your life to look like, but doing this consistently requires real mental strength. That's exactly why I created a psychology-based program that will force you to this level of mental control in just 24 days. Your parents turned you into a loser. Every time they doubted you, every time they set low expectations, and every time they treated you like you wouldn't amount to anything, they programmed loser behavior into your brain through the Golem effect. This is day 22 of controlling minds. Scientists randomly told teachers that some students were gifted and others were stupid. Not only did the teacher's behavior change, giving more attention and patience to the gifted ones while dismissing the stupid ones, but the student's behavior changed too, with the labeled gifted becoming eager and willing to learn, while the labeled stupid became withdrawn and unmotivated. The students were chosen completely randomly, meaning their success had nothing to do with actual intelligence and everything to do with the expectations placed on them. Do you think this only works with other people's expectations? Of course not. Expect yourself to fail, and you'll unconsciously act like someone who fails. Worse decisions, giving up earlier, and lower energy. That's why you need to learn how to reprogram these patterns systematically, and that's exactly what Iron Mind teaches. Black squares flooded Instagram for a week. Everyone posted them, everyone cared. Then the trend died and so did the outrage, because you don't actually care about injustice, you care about being seen as someone who cares. And the moment it stops getting likes and attention, your activism disappears with it. This is day 4 of controlling minds. It's called performative empathy. You're not driven by genuine concern for the issue, you're driven by social pressure to appear morally correct. Your brain isn't asking, is this right? It's asking, will this make me appear good? You're this easy to control. Media, influencers, and social media just need to tell you what makes you a good person, and suddenly you'll defend it with your life, without any expertise, and without any real knowledge. What do you actually know about social injustice? What numbers can you cite? What studies have you read? Why do you believe the statistics you've seen are even real? You can't answer that, because you never researched it. You just think it makes you good, so you post. And it happens with every topic. Israel, Ukraine, climate change, Venezuela. You think you're on the right side, and everyone else is evil for opposing you, but you're nothing more than a puppet, controlled by the simplest string there is, the desire to appear as a good person. And once you understand this about yourself, you understand how easily it's used on others. Want people to adopt your position? Don't argue facts. Make it the morally correct position. Make Make disagreement feel like being a bad person. Let social pressure do the rest. They'll police themselves and each other, and you never have to convince anyone of anything. There's a simple way to make anyone believe every single story you tell them, even if it's the complete opposite of what they remember and what actually happened. This is day 23 of Controlling Minds. We store events in fragments that get reconstructed into a memory each time we recall them. That's why memories change over time. We either use different fragments or interpret the same fragments differently. We connect these fragments together, and in this connection process, you can insert false memories. Scientists showed this by implanting a childhood memory in adults of being lost in a mall, something that never happened. They started with real fragments, the actual mall the family visited, people who were really there, and the time period. Then they connected these real fragments to false ones that made sense in that setting. You were lost by the fountain, crying. An elderly woman in a red jacket helped you find your parents. Here it was important to use specific detail. When asked to recall this over multiple sessions, subjects had the real anchors and the plausible false details, so they started filling in gaps themselves. How scared they felt, what the woman said, and what they were wearing. Over time, they built a completely false memory and were convinced it was real. And that's how it works. Start with something they actually remember, connect it to something you want them to believe, provide specific sensory details, then ask them to recall it multiple times. And their brain will reconstruct your version as truth. Everyone is lying to you, online or offline, and it's your own fault. You feel comfortable with lies and uncomfortable with the truth. That's why you keep listening to liars and make them famous. You choose feeling good over reality. And you are a liar too. How often does something bother you and you stay silent? How often do you think it's not worth the effort? Truth creates conflict, and those who force conflict are hated. This is day 1 of Controlling Minds. The human brain doesn't seek truth. It seeks comfort. If something feels good, your mind calls it true. If it feels bad, it rejects it. The truth threatens your self-image. It creates tension between who you are and who you think you are. Lies close that gap. They let you keep your sense of control without facing the pain of change. That's why the people who tell you what you want to hear rise faster than those who tell you what you need to hear. People don't want to hear the uncomfortable truth, they want to hear the comfortable lie. People believe what makes them feel safe, justified, or special. If a thought allows them to avoid responsibility, they'll accept it instantly. But if it threatens their identity or exposes their flaws, they'll reject it no matter how true it is. And for you, audit your own beliefs. Which ones are true, and which ones simply make you feel better about yourself? If every belief you hold feels comfortable, you're probably lying to yourself. Don't trust what feels good, trust what hurts. Learn to feel good only when you accept something that's painful to hear, because if you never know what you're doing wrong, you will never be able to improve. You waste hours trying to convince someone to do something they're thinking about, when there's a language trick that skips their decision entirely by sending their mind on a mental time travel. This is day 26 of Controlling Minds. You skip their evaluation phase by framing the decision as already made. Instead of letting them decide, where they will always find reasons against it, you move them to after the commitment already happened. This triggers commitment bias. Their brain treats this imagined future as something they already have, and humans hate losing what they feel they already possess. Before the mental time travel, they didn't care. But once you sent them there and they experience that future, taking it away feels like loss. They value it more and want it back. So they commit to the action just to reach the state their brain already accepted as theirs. You can use this exact method on yourself for things that require discipline and willpower. Imagine exactly how it feels to already have the result. Don't ask yourself if you should do it. Experience what comes after you already did. Your brain will follow to reclaim what it now feels was taken from it. You slept 8 hours, did basically nothing all day, scrolled, watched videos, and did a few easy tasks. Now you're exhausted. You can barely keep your eyes open and think you need rest. But you don't. Your brain is already tired from resting too much, it shuts down even more, and you keep waking up exhausted before the day even begins. This is day 12 of Controlling Minds. Your brain consumes massive amounts of energy, but not from hard work, from decision fatigue, boredom, and lack of purpose. When you do meaningless tasks all day, your brain works overtime trying to find meaning in the noise. It's searching for patterns, relevance, importance, finding nothing. That search exhausts you more than actual productive work ever could. This is why you can work 12 hours on something you care about and feel energized, but 2 hours of pointless meetings leaves you destroyed. The brain doesn't get tired from challenge, it gets tired from meaninglessness, from resisting doing what it actually wants to do, from suppressing the drive to create, build, or solve real problems. Every time you choose easy over meaningful, you're forcing your brain to operate against its design. It wants problems to solve, challenges to overcome, progress to make. When you deny it that, it retaliates with exhaustion. That's why you need to do something hard, something that requires focus, something with stakes. Your energy will return because your brain finally has something worth spending energy on. There's one question that ends relationships faster than cheating. Someone asks your partner, "Are you really happy?" Suddenly they're analyzing everything, finding flaws, building resentment about things that didn't bother them yesterday. The question didn't uncover problems, it created them. And that's how you can implant any belief you want without any resistance. This is day 8 of Controlling Minds. Questions like this don't just extract information, they plant assumptions. Are you happy? Assumes happiness is something to be evaluated. Question, proven. Before that question, they just existed in the relationship. Now, they're judging it, and judgment always finds something wrong. This works because your brain treats questions as problems to solve. When When someone asks, are you really happy, it implies you're not, that you're just acting like you are. So naturally your brain starts looking for evidence you aren't. And like it is with everything, where you search, you'll find. Once you find something, it stays forever. No one argued the relationship was bad, just one question, and their brain did all the work, built the doubt, created the dissatisfaction, justified leaving. That's why you should never attack beliefs directly. Always use questions that imply something. Is this really the job you like? Do you really like politician X? Is this really what you want? The implicit answer is always no, but you're not telling them they're wrong. You're sending them on a journey to discover it themselves, and this is how you change minds without any resistance. You say you'd never cheat, that you're loyal, that you're different, but you've never been truly tempted. You've never had someone who's exactly your type, who wants you just as bad in a situation where nobody would ever find out. Your loyalty isn't a choice you made. It's just that the right offer hasn't come yet. This is day 2 of controlling minds. Your brain doesn't ask, am I a good person before acting? It asks, what can I get away with right now? Every choice you make is just a cost-benefit calculation running in the background. The cost of cheating when the person is mid, the situation is risky, and you'd feel guilty, too high. But change those variables, make the person irresistible, make it completely safe, remove the guilt by justifying it, and suddenly the cost drops and the benefit skyrockets. People don't have morals, they have boundaries that shift based on circumstances. That's how anyone can be made to do anything. You can't change the people, but you can change the circumstances. In the loyalty example, it happens through thoughts you plant. They get permission, and the cost in their head lowers. But the same principle applies everywhere. If you know someone is obsessed with what others think, that's their biggest barrier. So change the circumstances. Make sure the situation is private, where no one can find out. If someone's held back by guilt, give them a moral justification. Now it's not selfish, it's fair. If someone won't act because of fear, remove the risk. The perceived danger drops, and the action becomes possible. Reshape the situation until their own brain gives them permission to do anything. You wake up feeling bad. You know something's wrong, but you can't figure out what. You go through your day dragging this weight around, snapping at people, avoiding work, scrolling endlessly, and if someone asks what's wrong, you say, I don't know, just feeling bad. And that vagueness is the reason nothing ever changes. This is day 11 of controlling minds. Your unconscious is a solution machine. Everything in your environment is a problem, and your brain is programmed to find a solution. But if you don't know what it is, your subconscious can't find one. With material things, you observe it more. You try to learn more, define it, describe it. That's how we developed everything from basic agriculture to giant planes. But when it comes to your emotions, you just accept them. Either you're feeling good or bad, but that's the same as calling a plane just steel. This way you could never make it fly. But for the things that govern every single moment of your life, you think it's enough, you're afraid, but call it feeling bad, and your unconscious can't help you because you're giving it the wrong problem. But if you give it the right one, the right name, you literally calm your nervous system. There's even a term for this, affect labeling. The moment you identify the emotion precisely, your brain can process it and the intensity drops. Next time you feel something is wrong, name it as specific as possible. The more precise you get, the faster your brain calms down. Build your emotional vocabulary. Learn the difference between shame and guilt, between loneliness and sadness, between fear and anxiety. Your brain needs precision to function properly. Vague feelings create vague responses. Specific labels create solutions. Someone did you a huge favor once, helped you when you needed it. And now, years later, they still bring it up. Not directly, but you feel it. Every time they ask for something, that old favor hangs in the air. You can never say no. You're still paying a debt that should have been settled long ago. This is day 3 of controlling minds. There's a hidden economy in every relationship. The currency isn't money, it's favors. Every time someone does you a favor, a small invisible debt is created. Most people don't notice it consciously, but they feel it. That quiet discomfort of owing something. Some people exploit this. They help not out of kindness but out of strategy, creating small debt packages they can later cash in. That's why certain people always remind you, subtly or not, of what they once did for you. It keeps you compliant, hesitant to say no. Humans hate imbalance. When someone does something for us, we need to even the score to regain psychological comfort. That's why you should be cautious about who you accept help from. Not all generosity is clean, yet at the same time, understand the power of giving. Doing small things for others, sincerely or strategically, creates influence. It builds invisible credit. Start observing the favor economy around you. Notice who's building emotional leverage and who's just being decent. Don't accept help blindly. Every favor has a psychological price tag. And for yourself, don't be afraid to give. Acts of service, done genuinely, build trust and reciprocity. Just make sure you're the one controlling the balance, not trapped by it. There's nothing worse than having a massive to-do list but still somehow wasting hour after hour on your phone. But with a simple psychological trick, you can force your brain into the state of maximum productivity. This is day 16 of controlling minds. For 1 week, every day, after every 30 minutes, you sit down for 1 to 2 minutes and write down exactly what you did in the last half hour. Not vague summaries, specific details. 2 things will happen. First, you see what you actually do with your time, how much of it is genuinely productive, and how much is just you procrastinating. 90% of you will realize you're nowhere near as productive as you thought. Second, you'll feel watched the entire time because you know you have to report what you did. You'll behave differently, better. This is called the Hawthorne effect. The shame of writing down that you spent 30 minutes on TikTok for the 3rd time in a row becomes unbearable. You have to justify yourself, you have to face your own lies, and that becomes an incredible productivity booster. Do this for 1 week and I guarantee you, the few minutes you invest every day will come back 100 times in results, because you're hacking your brain for maximum productivity. And if you can't even do this for 1 week, then you don't deserve to be successful. Try it out, come back in 1 week, and write your results in the comments. You sabotage yourself right before you're about to win. The relationship is getting serious and you pick a fight. The business is about to take off and you stop posting. You're finally losing weight and you binge. You tell yourself you're afraid of failing, but that's a lie. You're terrified of succeeding, because success means you can't hide behind excuses anymore. This is day 7 of Controlling Minds. Failure is comfortable. It's familiar. Your brain knows how to handle it. You've failed before and survived, so failing again feels safe. But success? Success is unknown territory. It means higher expectations, more responsibility, more visibility, more pressure. Your brain sees that as a threat, not as a reward. Success means confronting your identity. If you've built your entire personality around being the underdog, the struggling artist, the person who almost made it, then actually making it destroys who you think you are. Your brain would rather keep you failing than face that identity crisis. It protects you from what it thinks is danger. Right now it thinks success is more dangerous than failure. You need to reprogram that. Success isn't the threat. Staying stuck is. Most people never escape this. They spend their lives almost making it, then pulling back at the last second. Over and over. Reprogram that fear, or stay trapped, losing forever. Link in bio. Nobody will ever love you because of just being yourself. People love the image you create in their heads, not who you actually are. And until you understand how to plant that image, you'll stay single or stuck in boring relationships where they hate you instead of obsessing over you. This is day 21 of Controlling Minds. Your brain can't handle gaps, so it fills them automatically, and reality can never compete with this created imagination. When someone is mysterious, your brain builds the most fascinating version of them and you fall for that fantasy. When someone explains everything, there's nothing left to think about. But when you leave gaps, they invest time, thoughts, and emotions into you. They think about you constantly, trying to figure you out, building stories about you. This is the magic missing in boring relationships. No mystery left. Everything explained. Nothing to imagine. Leave room for gaps, for their own interpretations, because magic only appears in these gaps, and there is no obsessing over you without magic. But be careful, if you say nothing at all, if you try too hard to be mysterious, you become the opposite, a creep, and there is nothing more unattractive than a creep. Give just enough to keep them engaged, but never the full picture. Here's how to tell if you're brainwashed. If it's impossible for you to have a positive thought about someone no matter what they've done. For all Democrats, name one positive thing about Trump. Can't do it? You're brainwashed. Now all MAGAs, that felt superior just now. The opposite is just as true. If you can't have a negative thought about him no matter what he does, you're just as brainwashed. This is day 9 of Controlling Minds. Real people have good and bad sides, every single one. An evil dictator might love his dog. A hero who saves lives might cheat on his wife. Reality is messy, but your brain has been trained to see certain people as 100% evil or 100% good, and that's brainwashing. Media shows you the same person doing bad things over and over. Never shows context, never shows anything positive. Your brain absorbs this until it becomes automatic. Putin? Evil. No nuance needed. Trump? Depending on your bubble, either a saint or the devil. No middle ground allowed. Want to know who's brainwashed around you? Listen to how they talk about controversial figures. If they can't name a single positive thing about someone they hate, or a single negative thing about someone they worship, they're gone. Stop listening to them. They're not thinking independently. But if you actually want to see reality, pick the person you hate most and force yourself to find one genuine positive thing about them. Your brain will resist. That resistance is the brainwashing. Push through it, because the ability to think in shades of gray is one of the most valuable skills you can develop. Every insult, every joke, and every comment about you that hurts is actually true. If it didn't touch something real inside you, it wouldn't hurt. A lie you're certain about doesn't bother you. Only the ones you fear might be right do. This is day 13 of Controlling Minds. There are 3 reasons something hurts. All 3 reveal the same thing, your weakness. First, it's true and you know it. Hearing it out loud forces you to face what you've been avoiding. You can lie to yourself in your head, but when someone else says it, you can't pretend anymore, and your brain goes into defense mode to protect your ego from accepting reality. Second, when something's not true but you believe it anyway, that's even worse. Someone calls you stupid and you're not, but deep down you believe you are. Maybe parents or teachers told you are until you started believing it yourself. Now this comment brings up the old pain of feeling inadequately. And third, you fear it being true. That's just unresolved insecurity. You haven't decided yet if you're that thing or not, so any mention of it feels like a threat. Your reaction is trying to eliminate the possibility before it becomes real. Everything that hurts is not an attack. It's a map. It shows you exactly where you're weak and what you need to fix. Someone says you're fake and it bothers you, you're either being fake or scared you come across that way. Fix it. Be grateful for everything that hurts, because it gives you the opportunity to see where you need to work on yourself the most. There's nothing worse than eating with someone who smacks their lips and chews with their mouth open every single bite, but with a simple psychological trick you can turn them into the person with the best table manners. This is day 17 of Controlling Minds. Next time you're talking, casually say, you know what I really respect about you? You're considerate, you actually pay attention to how you affect people around you. Let that sink in. Then bring up someone else. Not like Marcus though, he chews so loud at restaurants completely oblivious to how uncomfortable everyone is. Their brain now links bad table manners with being inconsiderate and socially unaware, which directly conflicts with the identity you just gave them, an identity they accepted because it validated them. This creates cognitive dissonance. Acting against who they believe they are feels uncomfortable, so to resolve this, they'll naturally become more aware of how they eat. This is negative identity framing. Attach an unwanted behavior to a trait people fear, and they'll avoid it automatically. For any bad habit you want to break, find where that behavior clashes with your identity. You see yourself as disciplined? Then frame scrolling for hours as what weak, directionless people do. Your brain will reject the behavior to protect your self-image. Make the bad habit incompatible with who you believe you are, and dropping it becomes effortless. The best liars don't tell vague stories. They add one specific detail, a time, a color, a location, and you believe them completely, because the rule of specificity shuts down every skepticism. This is day 27 of Controlling Minds. When someone tells you something vague, your brain has no anchor points, nothing to visualize, nothing to connect to. Without a mental image, the story feels empty and fake because it's easy to invent, but specific details give the story life. Now it has anchor points to grab onto. You see it in your head, it feels real. When you experience something yourself, you remember these exact kinds of details. The time, the color, the location. Your brain knows that real stories have these markers. So when someone gives you specifics, your brain assumes they must have been there to know those details. You project your own experience onto their story. I only know details like that from things I actually lived, so you trust theirs too. The details make it real in your mind, whether it happened or not. When you need someone to believe something, be extremely specific. Don't say it works well, say, it increased performance by 37% in the first week. Don't say people liked it, say, 8 out of 10 people said it was better than X. The precision. You can list 50 things wrong with yourself in 30 seconds, but try to name what you're good at, you freeze, stumble, downplay everything. That imbalance isn't an accident. You were trained to see your flaws in high definition and your strengths through fog, because people who can't see their own value will accept whatever value others assign to them. This is day 6 of Controlling Minds. Self-hatred isn't natural, it's learned. Babies don't feel inadequate. Kids don't worry about being successful. That programming gets installed through repetition. You see perfect bodies in ads while they sell you weight loss. You watch successful people on social media while you scroll in bed. Your brain absorbs it, I'm not enough. This is intentional. Confident people don't comply. They don't buy shit they don't need. They don't stay in jobs they hate. They set boundaries, ask questions. They're dangerous. But insecure people, perfect. They'll do anything for validation. Buy products, chase status, and accept everything the government tells them. Your self-hatred is the most profitable program ever installed in your mind. But what was programmed in can be programmed out. Stop consuming content that makes you feel inadequate. Stop comparing yourself to impossible standards. The second you stop hating yourself, you become impossible to control. Confident people can't be manipulated. They can't be guilted into compliance. And that's why you need to learn to reprogram your brain and take your power back. If you're ready, check the link in my bio. If you always feel like the second choice, if you're invited but never the first person they ask, if you make plans and everyone says maybe, until they're sure someone better is coming, then the problem isn't your personality, it's a loop running in your brain that's creating this exact dynamic. But you can break this loop using CBT. This is day 19 of Controlling Minds. Here's what happens. A negative thought appears, like, they don't really want me there, which triggers insecurity and sadness, which causes you to act withdrawn, quiet, or passive when you're around people, making them see you as disinterested or low energy, which in return makes them like you less, confirming the original thought and strengthens it for next time. CBT breaks this at the source by teaching you to catch and challenge the thought before it controls your behavior. When "they don't actually want me here" appears, interrogate it. Where's the proof? What evidence actually exists for this? Is this real or just my assumption? Most of these thoughts collapse immediately because they're built on insecurity, not facts. The moment you expose them as assumptions, they lose power over how you show up, and that completely changes how people respond to you. In my new program, Iron Mind, 24 Days to Mental Strength, you learn exactly how and when to use CBT. Comment Iron Mind and you get it for the old price. Every time you need answers, responses, or information, suddenly everyone is busy and you get ignored. But there's a CIA tactic that forces people to reply instantly, and once you use it, you can't stop the flood of answers coming your way. This is day 25 of Controlling Minds. When you ask for something, no one sees a reason to invest time. People hate putting in effort, but what people love more than anything is correcting others. So if you need answers or information, don't ask for it. Make a statement so incredibly wrong and far from reality that people get triggered to the point where their human nature can't help but come at you with the correct answer or information. This works especially well when it's something personal and your statement underestimates them so severely that their perceived status crashes. That way, you're triggering multiple parts of human nature that force a response. First, status protection. We can't stand being seen as beneath others, and especially when we know or can do something and a reality-disconnected statement takes that away from us, we have to react. Second, we love feeling superior, and nothing gives us that feeling more than correcting someone we perceive as dumber. Third, we love showing off. We get such a rush from it that we don't even notice the other person only wanted that reaction, that answer, that information all along. Stop asking, start making deliberately wrong statements that attack someone's knowledge or status. They won't be able to resist correcting you, and in that correction, they'll give you everything you needed. Your trauma doesn't exist. You cling to it, replay it, and build your entire identity around it, because being a victim gives you something you're addicted to, an excuse. You get sympathy without effort, attention without achievement, and a perfect reason why your life is shit that's never your fault. This is day 5 of Controlling Minds. Trauma is the ultimate control mechanism, and you're using it on yourself. Every time you blame your past for your present, you're removing your own power. Can't succeed? Your parents ruined you. Can't maintain relationships? Your ex broke you. Can't change anything? Life is always against you. Your brain loves this story because it erases all responsibility. If your problems aren't your fault, you don't have to fix them. You can stay exactly where you are and feel righteous about it. And society rewards this. The more you perform your suffering, the more validation you get. You're getting paid in sympathy to stay helpless. But the moment you accept zero responsibility is the moment you lose all power to change anything. If you're not responsible for where you are, you can't be responsible for where you go. Your victim mindset is a mental prison. The bars are made of excuses. The lock is your need for sympathy. And the only key is accepting that everything from this moment forward is 100% on you. You can stay a victim and get sympathy, or take responsibility and get results. But you can't have both. And if you're ready to break out of the cage, reprogram your brain, and change your life forever, check the link in my bio. Going to university doesn't make you smarter or gives you better ideas. It makes you naive and predictable, which makes the proclaimed smartest people the perfect target for brainwashing. This is day 24 of Controlling Minds. People who desperately need to be seen as intelligent will do anything to appear that way in others' eyes. And in university, being intelligent becomes their identity, which means they'll protect that self-image with everything they have, and that's exactly what makes them predictable. Whatever public opinion labels as smart becomes their opinion, regardless of how much they actually know about the topic. The higher you climb the education ladder, the stronger this becomes. Suddenly, it's enough to tell you how intelligent you are, and that intelligent people think X, while those who disagree are simply too stupid to understand. To stay loyal to your identity and preserve your image, you adopt these opinions, never daring to question them, and just like that, you're manipulated without even noticing. Eventually, you just absorb these opinions and spread them into the world, hoping nobody sees through how simple-minded you actually are. And all of this happens because you lack the mental strength to stand by your own opinions, to stand out, to ask questions, to think for yourself, and to appear stupid in others' eyes. But this doesn't make you smart, it makes you a tool. Actually, smart people abuse every day.